Hello everyone, myself Sabri and I welcome you to our channel Solution Bridge Network and one-stop solution for all your Power Platform tutorials. Hello everyone, in this video we are going to see a new feature that was made generally available in PowerApps recently. It is the named formulas. So let's understand what is a named formula and where we can define it. A named formula in PowerApps is a way to define a value or a calculation and then reference it by a friendly name throughout your app. It is similar to a named cell or a formula in Excel. You can create a named formula in the app formula property of your PowerApps Canvas app. In this video, we are going to demonstrate a live use case which compares the global variable, collection, and a named formulas. Let's jump to the video. To write a named formula, you need to go to the app object and in the property section, choose formulas. First, let's understand what is the syntax that we should use to create a named formula. So the syntax would be name of the formula equal to the value what we need to assign to the formula and end it with a semicolon. So let's say if I want to define the value to a term x, then I'll say x is equal to the value which I need to assign, which is 12, and obviously I need to end it with a semicolon, so semicolon. Here we have defined a formula where the name of a formula is x and we have assigned a value as 12. Now let me add a text label and assign the value of the formula what we have defined in the text. So I'm just calling the formula name which is x. So I'm getting the value as 12. So now let's copy paste and we will be defining a new global variable. So we'll be able to understand the difference. I'm just going to the app property again and I'm just selecting on start and I'm just defining a variable called x, that is variable x, and setting the value as again 12. And let me come to the screen, go here and change the reference as variable x. Now if you see, I have defined the variable x in the onStart property and given the same value, and I did the same thing for the named formulas, but I can see the named formulas value but not the global variable what I have defined in the onStart property. The reason the onStart property have not triggered yet. So let me go to the app, click these three dots, click run on start. So the onStart property gets triggered and our global variable x gets assigned the value what we have defined 12. So this is one of the considerable point that we note. So the named formulas are always up to date and this will be completely managed by PowerApps. So whenever you go to the app property and formulas and if you change something, this will be live in any of your app. I just changed it to 11 and you can see that the value 11 gets assigned to the named formula. So everyone have a habit of defining the global variables, context variables, and some collections which we're gonna use throughout the app in the on start property. So normally what we need to consider before writing something on the on start property is its performance of the app. Whenever we have a huge list of functions we define in the on start property, then the performance of the app decreases. The reason being it should evaluate and assign all the values before the app gets loaded. But it is not the case with named formulas. But if you have the same set of variables and collections been updated in the named formulas, and this gets assigned if and only if the specific screen where it is defined is called for. So let's say I have a variable x which I have defined in the named formula and I have just used in only in the screen 3. So the value of the x get assigned or refreshed if and only if I open the screen 3. Now I have one more screen where I have a simple form and two galleries with a submit button. So I've just connected this form to a source employee information, which is a SharePoint list. And this has three columns, employee name, designation, and date of joining. And I have used two galleries. One is to reference the collection, what we're gonna create it in the onStart property, and one is for the named formulas. So let's go to the app object and create our collections. So I'm just creating my collection in the onStart property first. So I say collect emp info col and I'm just calling the collection completely from the source. So employee information, and I would just to close it. Let me trigger the onStart property. So let me select the name of the collection what I have defined, and I'm just coming to the collection here and referencing it here. Now let's assign the value to the text labels. So I would like to call this item dot employee name, and already we have the employee designation selected. So similarly, I'll go to the app property, go to the formulas, and I'm just planning to define a new formula here, which I call it as named formula employee info, and I use equal to, and here we can just call the data source name, which is employee information. And as I said earlier, this being a named formula, we need to end it with a semicolon. So we have already defined a named formula which collects the complete information available in the employee information source. So I just copy the name, I come to this gallery and assign the item property. Similarly, let me assign the text values, the employee name. So I call it as this item dot employee name. Now if you see, both of my gallery shows the same information. So differentiate it. Let's add a text, call it as on start property. Let me copy it, put it here, and call it as named formulas. So now let me run the app and enter the information here. So entering the information as Sabarikarthi, as senior data analyst, and the date of joining is 16/9/2023. On the on select property of the submit button, I have used the formula submit form of form 1. So once I click, the information will get submitted to the source, and you can obviously see that my named formula automatically refreshes and collects the information what I have given to the source. But here in the onStart property, our collection is not referenced. Since we have understood how a named formula work, it's time for us to know some benefits of using a named formula. The prime benefit it gives is improved performance. Named formula automatically recalculates whenever the data they depend on changes, ensuring you always have the latest value. This can be especially helpful for complex formulas used in multiple places within your app. Next is its increased maintainability. Since the formula is defined in one central location, it is easy to find, edit, and update the logic if needed. This makes your app more maintainable in longer run. Finally, its scalability. Named formula can handle complex calculation without impacting performance, making your app more scalable. Since our video today talks about a difference between the global variable collection and a named formula, we present you a simpler tabular difference between each of the items. Pause the video and take a look. By this, we come to end of our video. If you have any questions or clarifications, we request you to post it on the comment section of this video and we will revert as soon as possible. For watching. Subscribe our channel, hit the like button and press the bell icon for our new video alerts.